Let me paint you a grim portrait. Here I stand, amidst the desolation of my father's final resting place.
Today, on the day of his remembrance, I stand here, not under the shroud of night, but beneath the piercing sun. I perform my ritual earlier than usual, hoping the spirit of that scumbag is awake to witness. It's a relentless cycle, an unbreakable ritual that binds me to the legacy of pain and betrayal he left behind. As long as I draw breath, this ritual persists. You see, the world saw my father as a paragon of virtue, a benevolent soul draped in charm. To everyone else, he was a man worth admiration, showering kindness like confetti at a parade. Yet within our home, behind closed doors, he was a monster, a tormentor who reveled in the degradation of those he should have protected. My mother, a resilient victim, bore the brunt of his malevolence. As a child, I was thrust into reality where love became synonymous with fear and trust was a luxury we couldn't afford. The facade he presented to the world was a cruel joke, a mask that concealed the unspeakable horrors he unleashed on us in the shadows. The nights echoed with the cries of my innocence, torn apart by a man who should have been my protector. In the quiet moments between his sinister acts, I found myself questioning why his kindness flowed freely outside our home, yet within its walls it curdled into cruelty. The dissonance between his public image and private reality was a chasm that swallowed my childhood whole. My mother, a mere shell of her former self, endured the unimaginable, and I, a witness to her silent suffering, grappled with the weight of my own scars. As the years unfolded, my disdain for the man who wore a mask of kindness deepened, fueled by the injustice of a childhood marred by his wickedness. This grave, where his secrets lie buried, become the stage for my silent rebellion. The world may mourn him as a victim of his own demise, but I, burdened by the unspeakable truths and the reluctant keeper of the macabre legacy he left behind. And so I return each year, not to seek forgiveness for my transgressions, but to remind myself of the darkness that once dwelled within the man I called father. You see, my father's original resting place wasn't here. I dug him up from where he was first laid to rest, burying him again here. It's not a conventional spot, but it's where I can come to perform my yearly ritual without the prying eyes of judgmental onlookers. My mother, still blinded by her misplaced sympathy, constantly expresses her sorrow for him, a sentiment that infuriates me to no end. But here, at least, whenever she goes to his original burial site, she wouldn't be paying respect to the scumbag. He doesn't deserve her tears. And why is it that we're always expected to honour the dead? Some of them don't deserve it. They were stains on humanity, perpetrators of unspeakable horrors. Rituals like this should be performed on them more often, to remind the world of the darkness they embodied. As he descended into drunken darkness, his seizures, a crude reminder of his epilepsy, became a cosmic reckoning. I watched, torn between despising him and hoping the universe's punishment wouldn't be enough, but it never was. After each fit, he'd rise unharmed, mocking my wish for his demise. In the symphony of despair, I reached a breaking point. I knew the alchemy that triggered his seizures, a knowledge both terrifying and empowering. One fateful night, the plan crystallized in my mind. He lay in a drunken stupor, a gun nearby, a relic from his hunting escapades.
With a heart heavy with desperation, I gently placed the weapon in his hand, his finger on the trigger, mouth wide open, gun placed right on his venomous tongue. As the seizures danced through him, I stared into the abyss and waited and waited and waited. Then,
and here I am, again in the quiet of his grave, bringing lagers with me, a peculiar tribute maybe, but it's a drink he knew well, a choice that mirrored the darker side of him. I raise each glass, a bitter salute to the man who left the scars on my soul. With every sip, the memories flood back like a bitter tide, each gulp a bitter reminder of the shadows he cast, blaming the lager for his distasteful deeds, just as he did.
In the stillness I stand, ready for a peculiar offering, a libation not of sorrow, but of disdain. As the last drop falls, I take aim, a stream of liberation, a cascade that carries the weight of my grief. This, my yearly pilgrimage, is a dance of pain and defiance, an unspoken declaration that I won't carry his darkness. So, with a nod to the drink he held dear, I pour out the bitterness, marking this desolate grave with a final act of rebellion. The lagers and the liquid stream, my poetic protest against a legacy I refuse to bear.